Market Prep at the close. Spencer Israel, Joel Elconin. If you're wondering where the hell I am, I'm in a different area of our office. I got booted. My setup got commandeered by Luke Jacoby for the Benzinga boot camp. He stole my TV. He stole my headset. He stole a few other things. And also, I didn't want to be all up in his space. So I figured I'll give him the room for now. I'm going to go into a different area and do the At the Close show in a room by myself. We call this room the Igloo. I'm here with Joel Elconin. Joel, let's talk through this market as we wrap up the week. All things considered, we're going to end up pretty much where we started the day at.
Yeah, the ever considerate Spencer Israel. Thanks for joining me. What a day. You talk about summer market. This was not a summer market by any stretch of the imagination. Sellers came in off the open and they just walloped the S&Ps. They didn't care about Apple. They didn't care about Amazon. They didn't care about Facebook. I don't know if we had any relevant news, but they took this thing down all the way to 32.12.5, folks. And they had me looking over the abyss. We're like, hey, are we going to finally crack that 31.90 today? And then turned it around. Dancing it unchanged here. Unchanged on the session is 48.75. We just ticked 49.75. So trying to stay green on the session. Let's look at a few other markets here. You have crude trading up 41 cents at 40.33. Not even a buck range in crude. That's a pretty quiet day. You have gold in the green by 23.10, trying to cross that 2K mark on a close. We'll see if maybe perhaps it can do that on Monday. And silver is no slouch, nowhere near that high of the move, but up over a stake at 24.39. Got up over 26 the other day in that crazy buying frenzy. And Bitcoin inches its way towards 12,000, up $200, 11,570. And I'll just say the SPOO's rejected unchanged there, it looks like. So we need to get back. We need to see that green to get back really show some gains on the session. Considering Apple's up 10%, $39. Just not an overall great for the day for the market, hitting some other things. What do you want to cover, Mr. Israel?
Let's just start with the big tech reports that we talked about this morning. Really the only one that reversed to any extent was Google. Let's start with the Alphabet, and then we'll just kind of go through the big four and kind of how they digested their reports today.
Yeah, they found something they didn't like in that report. And I guess, I don't know if it was on the revenue end or whatnot, but we had been
it was on the cloud. Cloud growth. It was cloud growth, but the growth rate declined across the board for Google, Amazon, and Microsoft. But that was one thing that I saw that they didn't like. But that wasn't unique to Google by any stretch of the imagination. So
I'm looking at the Goog without the L, and we just, from a technical standpoint, I know we did talk about the importance of 1,500. You could see all the lows within that area, and didn't spend much time above it in the session. Opened lower, 1508.95, and took that out. If you were holding out for this low here at 1450 area, you might have to wait another day because what do we get here on a low of the day? The low of the day for Google, I'm going to have to pull up my data window. That is just a little bit too much for my eyes. But coming back mid-range on the session, got to 5403. And it's just stuck in the mid-range. A little heavy volume today. So you don't like seeing losing that $1,500 level. I would say you got to regain that control of that level early next week or more downside for the Googster.
And let's just go through. I mean, we have Amazon, we have Facebook, we have Apple. They all pretty much, with the exception of Google, they all pretty much behaved the same way today.
But the Zon never got to that pre-market high, and we were pretty good on this one. I mentioned that 3240 area, and this was that high that you had a few days ago or last week. You had that high, I believe, at 3246. I believe that high was 3244.28. You got a little bit through that. You got through that by a couple bucks and then turned around, little profit taking. Apple leading the charge here. Spoos just went green on the session. We're up 3 points. Can't keep this market down. The intraday high here is 60.50. That's only 8 points away. Your pre-market high, 73.75. That's an important area. I think that's safe for today. But Apple leading the charge here. Amazon, just some profit taking, right? Slow, steady decline. People sitting on a lot of profits, using the opportunity to do that today. Facebook, very impressed with Facebook here, holding these gains. And what a tame day for Facebook. Basically been trading in a 2-point range between 52 and 54 for better part of 3 or 4 hours. So not the volatility you normally would see on an earnings report, but just some position squaring here, and we'll see how things are resolved on Monday in Facebook. But new all-time high, new all-time closing high as well. I couldn't get to the pre-market high right there at 256, but boy, oh boy, not giving anything back here in Facebook.
All right, let's talk a couple of the biggest headlines of the day before we get to some takers being talked about in the chat. Let's just start with Microsoft here. Report out of several outlets. I think the New York Times may have been first that Microsoft has had discussions with ByteDance to buy TikTok. There's also another report that the president is preparing via the Committee of Foreign Investment in the U.S. to mandate TikTok shut down or divest their U.S. operations. So Microsoft rumored here to be buying TikTok, and that is what caused the intraday move in Microsoft.
How long's TikTok been around?
If I had to guess, I would say 2 years, if I had to guess.
Really, that long, huh? Oh boy, oh boy. I don't know. I mean, they got a lot of cash. I don't know what the valuation is on that. I mean, why would if they're being threatened, or if they're going to lose the U.S. operations, what would Microsoft want to have to do with that?
All right, so here's the answer to your question. It was actually the app was first launched in 2000 in China, at least, and it looks like 2016, but it didn't become available in the U.S. or outside China until 2018. So I was right, 2 years in the U.S.
I'll tell you right now, you want a great, I don't know about TikTok or, the mechanics of if that's the way they're going to deploy all that cash they have. But I'll tell you one thing about Microsoft, and y'all can jot this down.
The trend is your friend.
Look at this 204 level, Spencer. Look at this. I don't think I've ever seen a quad top in Microsoft.
Wait, you're on the top right chart? I'm
on the top right chart here. Yeah. Oh, I forgot to learn my drawing signals. Look at that, folks. That is rare in a big stock like this. You got a big fish that wants to sell this stock at 204. Here are the last 4 highs: 0388, 0432, 0414, and 0386. That is, I'll tell you, man, this thing busts through 204. Katie barred the door. We're going to 210 and beyond. Holding the 200 level, you got a couple lows in the same area. Where are the lows? For 199.01, 199.57. Folks, let's jot this down. Let's keep an eye on Mr. Softy next week, because I hope it just doesn't blow through it. Actually, I was looking on the daily. I'm sorry, it's not 204, it's 205, folks. 205. Here are your highs on the daily: 0470, 0465, 0446, and 0470. So, wow, big area. Let's see what it can happen. Get through that tomorrow or Monday.
And then over the last half hour or so, the rail stocks have really blasted off into orbit. There is a report, I believe, from Dow Jones of some private equity interest in Kansas City Southern. KSU is the ticker on that. So that blasted off. And also some sympathy plays: CP, CSX, UNP, all the rail stocks blasted off on that headline. KSU was halted. It has since come out of a halt at week's last I checked. But let's look at this one here, Joel.
Kansas State University
Yep.
blasted off here. That was one that was rumored. You're not hearing anything come out now. So a lot of times, guys, and I think that when I'm pretty consistent in this, when you see these kind of rumors initially, man, oh man, as Harlan Pine would say, sell your peanuts when the circus is in town. And the circus was more in town here. Money in the Shrine Circus, 178.59. That was your former old-time high from February. You got through that by a wide margin, 184.16. But it's since reversed course and given it back. So I just, man, who knows? If you would have sold at 175 on the way up, 176, 177, you certainly would have been regretting it. But a lot of times, man, if you're going to be playing these kind of things, you want to see the rumor, you want to halt, stock, price, take out, boom, or else you get this kind of trading action today. What are the other ones here? CSX, we know that was weak early because it had to get beat up because of the queues, and CSX did get a little pop off that. Went green on the session, so nice turnaround if you were trying to buy the dip in that. And then UNP, another rail. That did get a pop as well. This one's still kind of in the doghouse. So.
Yeah. All right, let's go to the chat here. EK asked us to look at DXY, the U.S. dollar index. He said he tried to talk about it this morning, and we didn't get a chance to. But Goldman Sachs actually poo-pooed the dollar a little bit earlier this week. They had a note out where they questioned whether the U.S. dollar would remain the global reserve currency and the currency that all other currencies are tied to, basically questioning the dollar's grip on the global markets. We have not looked at the dollar here for quite some time, Joel. I don't know if you have.
Yeah, I got the UUP up, but that's the dollar.
Enough.
Is that good enough?
That's close. Yeah, that's the ETF that tracks the dollar, right? That's close enough.
That's a downtrend. So Goldman, I don't know if they're trying to bottom ticket here or whatever, but just down and down and down every single day. Then a gap down. Not a lot of faith in the U.S. dollar right now. The stock market is another thing, but the U.S. dollar not. You got three lows in the same area if you're so inclined here. It's a triple bottom. This is a UUP, 25.17, 25.12, 25.13. So monthlies, it got slammed in March, a level lower than that. This is not a huge mover, but from a technical standpoint, boom, three lows in the same area, something to lean on.
We also got a question about Workhorse. A bit of a weak
How is
day.
Workhorse?
Not great today, down 5%.
Boy, oh boy. Man, it's losing its luster. I would say consolidation station here. You are looking at the $14 area, support just under 14. You can see that resistance. You've had multiple highs. Where's that been? 17 and a half, maybe a little bit higher than that. So it had the big move. It had to pull back. It's having its consolidation. So from the bulls, if I'm going to be on the bull side, I'm going to say, hey, you're building a base. You're holding 14 here, and you're going to get ready to make a move higher. From the bear case is, this thing had its run, had some profit taking, and you're just not finding new buyers to take it back up to that level. But consolidation is probably as long as, you had all this consolidation when it was a $354 stock, but this is a very long consolidation period. So let's just keep an eye on this until it breaks out or breaks down through the consolidation.
Trying to go look through the chat. We talked about Jumia this morning. I don't know what there is to say about it. There is no news. It doesn't need news. This seems like it's a retail-driven situation here for Jumia. I don't know what else there is to say about it. We talked about it this morning. It's It's
It's
moving to the beat of its own drum.
African internet company, right?
It's
For Africa.
it's like the Amazon of Africa. Yeah.
Well, boy, oh boy. What's talked about this one this morning? It showed some spunk, and did it give you a chance to get it unchanged today? Boy, that's just a great trend there. I know some people in the chat like to play it. Probably get an extra boost off the Amazon earnings. No, you couldn't, despite the higher open, you couldn't get the close. And this is just a good for you guys to keep an eye on here when I look at these stocks. When you have a higher open and something like that, the first area of support where people that are jammed on the shorts would be that closing price from the previous day. That was 1267. You only got to 1281, and then it was off to the races. I mean, volume stepping up again here for the third day in a row. Maybe the Robinhood traders are selling out Eastman Kodak and buying Jumia. But
how is Kodak doing today?
Kodak's not doing good.
I shouldn't. I regret asking you that. I don't. I almost don't even want to look at it.
Yeah, it got down to $20.
Yeah.
Trying to hold in there. Just a ridiculous move in this yesterday, and I hope none of our traders, investors got caught in this one. I mean, there was a brief moment when they when they were moving up, and could have made some money on that. But if anything, we would caution on something like that.
One last thing on Jumia. The only ETF that holds Jumia is the International Online Retail ETF from Amplify, XBUY. It's got a almost 4% weighting in XBUY. So it's the only. If you want to arbitrage that against something, there you go.
XBUY
in XBuy. It's the international online
trade by appointment only. S&P's.
I'm just getting tickers.
Okay. S&P's ripping into the close here, folks. It looks like that target, that intermediate target that we talked about here, the intraday high at 60.50. Looks like it's an earshot here. We just hit 32.58 and a quarter. Wonder if we got some buying balances in there.
Let's look at Ford here. We did not get a chance to talk about their earnings this morning. They were out. Ford was out after the close yesterday. Their earnings per share, they lost 35 cents per share last quarter. That beat the estimate. Sales 19.4 versus $15.9 billion. So they beat what low bar there was to beat. And what else do they say? Going through the pro. They said the company is halfway through its $11.5 billion spend on electric vehicles, and they're going to spend more after that. They've got more than 150,000 reservations for the new Bronco SUV, and they're working to increase production there. Let's look at Ford.
$7. You just got it.
I feel like it. We've been saying $7 in Ford for how long?
It goes to 5, it goes to 7, it goes to 9, it goes to 7.5. Well, it hasn't been at 9 in a while here. $7. I mean, a couple highs just above that. Looks like you got a little bit of a roof in there at 7. Had a nice run from under 6. So I don't know. Maybe headed back to the $6 area. You can see all the lows just under 6. Trade the range in Ford. We are 1.5 points away. We will probably hit a new intraday high here momentarily, folks. Currently trading at 32.60, 60.50 is the high, 59.5. The bulls are coming out here with a vengeance. Coming in. We still got 2 minutes to go.
We got less than a minute to go, actually. Do you have any final thoughts, Joe? We got about 30 seconds left in this market.
We just made a new intraday high. Bulls reign supreme today here, folks. Don't know what that sell-off was all about this morning, but you look at your big dogs. Microsoft is clearing the quad top that we talked about. Great day for Apple, Amazon. Pre-market high, or what we had this morning, was 73.75. I don't think we're going to get that yet today. Some time left, but good day for the market after the turnaround. High of the move, 83.50. And we know the cluster highs is 73, 74. We'll see if they take them out on Sunday night.
Yeah, final tally for the S&P 500, up 0.77% on the day, so they buy the dip yet again. Thanks to everyone who has hung out with us for the past few minutes. If you want to catch a replay of this, you can always on our YouTube channel. We have all our full archives on YouTube. You can also catch the podcast version of PreMarket Prep on whatever podcast platform you prefer. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We always appreciate the love there. Thank you very much. Please remember, all the information from this broadcast is meant to be used as informational purposes and not for investing or trading advice. Everyone, have a great rest of your Friday. Enjoy your weekend. We'll be back with you